You make them, didn't you?
When I was 3 years old, I was diagnosed with a genetic disorder called neurofibromatosis. And essentially that is a disorder that causes tumors to grow on nerves. Not only that, there's bone abnormalities, learning disabilities for 50% of patients. There's obviously psychological issues that these children go through and hormonal changes and disorders. Actually, the diagnosis was almost a lucky chance that I got diagnosed with it. When my brother came home from the hospital and he was born, I broke out in shingles. So my parents took me to the doctor and they said, sure, I think those are shingles, but we should send you to the dermatologist. And she wasn't interested in that at all. She was interested in, I had a tumorous growth on my back. That obviously caught her attention, and I had brown marks on my skin called cafe au lait spots, and essentially that's how they ended up diagnosing me.
We first had to learn how to say it, which was a mouthful. And the first step towards learning about it was, of course, to go to the internet and start Googling. And unfortunately, what comes up when you start Googling medical conditions is scary stuff, cancer. And so all of a sudden these tumors we were told about had the possibility of being cancerous tumors. Looking back, it's not about cancer at all. There wasn't much support. As Courtney mentioned, the level of knowledge for NF in Alberta is very slim. Fortunately for us, the doctor that diagnosed her initially was knowledgeable about the disorder, so we were lucky there, and she sent us straight on to a genetic specialist from Calgary. She's considered a spontaneous mutation, which is a horrible word, but it's a chromosome that just didn't develop.
I think one of the hardest things is we didn't tell her at first. I mean, at 3, too young to understand. There's no complications. We were just riding it out. We didn't inform her when she went to school. We didn't tell the teachers because we didn't want her to be treated special. Whereas now, I mean, she doesn't want to be treated special now either.
Well, I didn't really start having issues until I turned 13. I had the tumorous growth removed off my back, and after that they thought it'd be a good idea to do a baseline MRI of my brain, because it's very common for people with NF to have brain tumors. So that's when they diagnosed me with a tumor in the center of my brain called what they call an optic glioma. And after that, I started having really bad back pain, and essentially I was diagnosed with scoliosis, so my spine is curved. After that, I started getting really bad headaches, so everything kind of just has escalated since I was 13. Here, I was getting asked by doctors, what is NF? And that really surprised me, because I obviously knew it's 1 in 3,000 people, and I didn't quite get it, why there's so little awareness. But going down to the States with my mom, I realized that there's help outside of our own healthcare system, that you have to pursue what you want, because you'll find something. Like we've tried everything here, mostly to get rid of my headaches, and we felt like we exhausted everything, but there's always something else you can do. I didn't tell anybody, other than family, of what I was going through, because I was afraid of being judged. I was afraid that people would treat me differently, maybe. I didn't want people to feel sorry for me, and I wanted to be like every other teenager. Like, I was thinking, well, what teenager wants to be different? I wanted to fit in with everybody else, so I hid it, which was not a good idea. Well, my mom actually surprised me with a trip to Calgary, where we met Reggie Bibbs, who is another individual facing difficulties with NF. His case is a lot different than mine. He's been impacted a lot harder than myself. He has facial deformities from a tumor that's growing behind his eye, And I mean, I followed him on Facebook. I had seen documentaries on him, and he inspired me, but I finally was able to actually meet him. And that experience changed me. There's one quote that he said during the presentation. It said, without fear we have no courage, and without courage we have no fear. And basically that, it just opened my eyes just to like realize that, you know, it's okay to be different. It's okay to be scared of admitting that I have this, but that's what's in the end is going to give me courage to be able to do it.
It was a weight that she didn't need to carry alone.
Yeah.
And for her to feel comfortable enough in her own skin to share that with friends at school, and even now with people at school that she doesn't even really know.
Yeah.
To see her courage is completely and truly inspiring.
Right now I'm selling silicone bracelets that say solve the puzzle, cured neurofibromatosis, and my goal is to raise $5,000, which I intend to send out to a research lab in BC, and they're looking for a cure for NF. I think that it deserves the same recognition that breast cancer gets, prostate cancer, because NF affects 1 in 3,000 people.
It's great. That was her initiative.
Yeah, it's all hers.
It was her plan. She picked the bracelet. She picked the slogan.
She paid for them.
She paid for them. She ordered and followed through, and she has done fabulous.
It's pretty incredible because she's had it for so long, and again, she's only 18, and for someone to be doing this at such a young age, it's pretty great, and I'm pretty proud of her for doing it.
What I'm doing with this video and my fundraiser, even if it helps one person feel comfortable in their own skin, then to me it's totally worth it.